area.
Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cold villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds? And welcome to another Werewolf episode of Street Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for this evening. This is episode 560, recorded on Sunday, December 28th, 2025. Tonight, we are talking about the winner of the December poll, which is The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, we got your boy, Randizel. What's up, Randy?
We're just normal men.
What's going on, baby? I'm kind of bummed. I'm in the afterglow of Christmas over here, so one more ball drop, and then it's just drudgery for a few months. So
I'm in the pre-glow of that ball dropping, and man, I
Buddy.
love it. Let me tell you.
I know how you love balls dropping, Bob, but some of us need a little more. Okay.
Speaking of needing a little more, last but not least, calling in from Florida, we got Shaboy Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up? It's your boy Alpha Stains. Oh, boys, I'm back.
Calling in from whence you came.
Don't worry, boys. Your alpha leader is back.
I was worried.
I never abandon you, boys. There's two things I'll never do in my life: abandon you, boys, and wipe my own asshole. So don't you worry.
Because then you're gay.
Wow.
Exactly.
I will not
Alphas
submit
don't.
myself to the homosexual agenda by wiping my own asshole.
Alphas don't abandon their Sigmund and Lambda boys, and they don't wipe their own ass.
I hire a man to wipe my ass. That's how straight I
That's-
am.
I have someone for that. His name's Rick. He's very gentle.
Oh,
He's got soft hands. It's great. I love it. Highly
That's how
recommend.
I know I'm a straight man.
Welcome to Alpha Cast, all alpha, all day. We're doing it.
Motherfucker.
This is like the third. I can't remember, second or third like Alpha Cast of the year. We're potentially talking about werewolves, anyways.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got a lot of wolf
related
talk
movie.
this past year.
Yeah, big wolf energy on this here
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't do it. If you're a beta listening, take notes. We're going to tell you what you need to do. We're going to tell you. Boys, last episode of...
But not right now.
Wait, you gotta wait for an
Yeah,
hour
wait
and a
till the
half.
end.
Till the end.
The last 5 minutes is when you get the secret.
Oh, that's
yeah,
when,
but don't
that-
fast forward, because then
Don't
you're a beta.
fast
You can't
Oh,
fast
no.
forward.
You can't.
No.
Only
If you
Alpha's finish, let me tell you.
And fast.
This is the last episode of the year, boys. Rounding out 2025. Can't believe it. We've been doing this for a whole nother year. Holy crikey. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Um,
spent up our 4 good months, boys. Now we gotta wait.
Yeah, now it's just
Now it's just shitty
sadness.
months.
Just
Yeah,
cold, gray bullshit.
for like 3 months.
Arbor Day ass holidays.
Arbor ass day.
Arbor ass
Love to see it.
days.
So, yeah, we're talking about The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which takes place between Christmas and New Year's Eve. So, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Before we get into the review, though, we do have some housekeeping real quick. Here is your final reminder. Our January poll is currently posted over on our Patreon website. If you guys support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this January. The theme for January is just movies that we missed throughout the year of 2025. We got 6 brand new movies that came out this past year that we did not have time to get to. Those movies are Begonia, Companion, Dangerous Animals, Good Boy, The Toxic Avenger, and The Ugly Stepsister.
Whoa, Bob, for the final time. How those numbers looking in 2025? Moving on, boys.
Whoa. Well, we got a three-way tie for last place now. Three movies with 5% of the vote. Those are Good Boy, The Ugly Stepsister, and Dangerous Animals.
Damn.
Tied for last.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking idiot. Third
One
place
vote
we
apiece. Damn.
yeah, 40 votes
Bleak.
apiece. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Third place, sitting at third place, we got the Toxic Avenger with 10% of the vote. Second place, Companion with 35% of the vote. Still sitting in first place, Begonia with 40% of the vote.
Not so much higher than Companion, though.
Yeah, those actually throughout this week, those have been like tying and breaking over and over. I think people
Oh.
are changing their votes a little bit.
That's
So
pretty surprising because Begonia has been stopping it for most of this month.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
pretty stalwart.
yeah.
All right.
So yeah, this episode drops on New Year's Eve. So if you're listening to this, you still potentially have time to go cast your vote for
Did
this
we do
poll.
a mini cast on Begonia?
No, I don't
Well,
believe
that
we
doesn't
did.
win. Then that's what you're getting.
That's because we're desperate for some mini casts
We
right
gotta record some mini casts.
now. Let me
Uh-oh.
tell you.
I did not know.
So yeah, we're gonna have a brand new February poll posted a day after this podcast episode drops. So our February poll, I'll just go ahead and drop it. I'll let you know what it is. The theme for February is Bodacious Babes.
Ooh.
February, if you're unaware, is Women in Horror Month. So we want to celebrate some fantastic female directors.
She was gorgeous. Babes in Horror Month.
Babes in Horror, Bodacious Babes. Actually, Randy, I'm not totally sure what your movie is, so unless you know, maybe we'll just not say what the movies are and we'll just leave it at the theme.
Let's just not.
Okay. All right. That's the
'Cause
theme.
I don't remember.
I forgot what I picked on. Oh no,
Check,
I do remember. I do remember.
Check
It's a good one.
Patreon for those movies, those three movies.
But
that
let me
you're
tell you,
voting on.
I picked the best one. so-
The best one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got mini cast dropping every other Friday, like we just mentioned. Your boy Soju recently just dropped one talking about The Long Walk.
Ooh.
Very uplifting flick.
The Long
man.
Walkman.
That's
The longest
It's
Walkman.
just it's like a triple decker. You can put 3 cassettes in there.
It's a
know,
6
or
CD
3
changer.
CDs.
It's
Yeah,
just-
I can't remember
Whoa.
what Walkman does.
You
You
can
can
only
listen
fit it
to
in
upwards
your...
of 30 songs on this bad boy.
Whoa! I'm living the
Wow.
dream.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't know about that, boys. That was before my time. That was the
Oh,
all
yeah.
you.
You were strictly a Zune guy, as I recall.
Oh yeah. It's making a comeback, boys. I'm telling
Fucking
you.
coming.
Soon. God. Well, yeah, that's available for you over on Patreon right now. Speaking of Patreon news, we got a brand new Patreon supporter we got to give some
Oh.
shouts outs to.
Oh,
Big gigantic shouts outs to Shaboy Mike from New York, signing up on Patreon and showing us some love. Every dollar you guys contribute goes right back into the show. As is tradition around these here parts, we owe Mike from New York the straight chillin' salute. This one goes out to Mike.
Slap me in the ass.
Ooh.
retroactively felt mean to use the Andrew Dice Clay. Whoa! After I found out this dude's from New York.
You're so alpha,
My
Randy. You can't even deal with how alpha you are.
I know.
I can't, especially.
Please
since
don't
I'm
try to
alpha.
contain me. You will only hurt yourself.
I can't deal with it. I can only be one.
Oh, we're just gonna have to fight to the death on this episode here. Big thanks, Mike. We do appreciate your support, man. This
Thanks,
is the last bit of Patreon news here. This is your final reminder. We are reopening the You Pick the Flick tier on January 1st. This is the only way for you to outright pick a movie for us to review on the show. We're reopening this. There's only 5 spots available on January 1st, and we're not going to reopen it again until June of next year. So this is all you get for the first 6 months. We're going to open it at an undisclosed time of day. You just got to check our Patreon website throughout the first, and if you see it, grab a spot.
Yeah, no, I'm living in a nightmare.
And,
12:01, right
yeah.
after the ball drop.
Oh God, go refresh. Go.
120004.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Uh,
of zeros.
That is.
I don't know if that's what time is really like,
That's what it
but
is when you break it down past a second.
No,
Randy,
can't
Although
do that.
y'all-
The second's the
Y'all know
smallest
what time. You know how
Randy.
time works.
I
Seconds
know that
are
it's
only. There's no smaller amount of time than a
it's
second.
it's a flat circle, Randy. That's what
Okay,
I
all
know.
right, okay. Mobius strip ass motherfuckers over here don't know
I
about
know.
microseconds.
I know it's a construct, and since I'm so alpha, I don't actually
Alphas don't
experience
measure
time.
micros, Randy. Okay,
They just
we don't
measure
like
their
to use
micro
that word.
cocks.
That's an offensive word around the Alphaville, Randy.
They're very sensitive about their
Time in
micro cocks. Okay.
macroseconds, Randy. All right, huge, giant.
We don't
Seconds.
use the M word around here, Randy. Okay, some of our members are a little sensitive about
A little
that.
touchy
in an alpha way.
in the
That's
very alpha way.
that's all I got. That's all I got. You guys have anything you need to plug?
Not a damn thing, man.
I don't think so.
All right.
Well, this
We-
house is clean.
This house is clean.
All right, let's get into the main event. We're talking about the Wolf of Snow Hollow, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Bob, it looked like you threw that box up there. All right.
Oh.
That's an approved purchase right there.
Boom. It's
Wow. Rubber
Jojo
stamp.
approved. Nice.
I need to get a special stamp that I can,
Oh yeah.
I'll just AI it.
Oh yeah. You're not gonna get me to do it. I can tell you
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll just AI it. Yeah, this is on Blu-ray. It's pretty easy to come by. Warner Brothers put this one out. It was on Shudder for a while. It might still be there. But you can stream it, you can rent it, pick it up on Blu-ray. It's really easy to find this one. The Wolf of Snow Hollow from 2020, rated R with a runtime of an hour and 25 minutes. This was written and directed and starring Jim Cummings. This man is all over this movie. This is also starring Ricky Lindholm. This is the sad to say the last film Robert Forster was ever in before he passed. This also has Chloe East, Will Madden, Annie Hamilton, a handful of other folks. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. Terror grips a small mountain town as bodies are discovered after each full moon. Losing sleep, raising a teenage daughter, and caring for his ailing father, Officer Marshall struggles to remind himself there's no such thing as werewolves. Gentlemen, have you seen this movie before, and would you recommend folks at home check it out? Rand Diesel, kick us off.
Total first time watch for me. I get this confused with what is it? Werewolves Within, the one with Sam
Yeah.
Richardson and stuff. I get those. I've forever gotten these two movies confused, so I wasn't entirely sure if it was that movie or this one that I was watching when I put it on. Would I recommend? Yeah, I think so. I think I would recommend this. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm still parsing it. I watched it just today, so I do think it's worthy of some watches though. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Juice, what about you?
Yeah, I would recommend people check this out. I watched this. It's not my first time watch. I watched it a couple years ago. I think when I was compiling my Christmas list, my Christmas horror list. I think that's probably the first time I watched it. So 2 or 3 years ago for the first time. And I was very pleasantly surprised at that time. And so I was excited to rewatch it. And it held up. Again, it was another great watch. So yeah, I would recommend people check this out. I think it's a hidden gem for sure. So yeah, check it
Ooh.
out. Bob, how about you? When'd you get that box? When'd you watch this guy? Would you recommend it?
When I watch this guy.
When you watch that guy?
It's like my third viewing of this, I think. And yeah, I would totally recommend this one. It's good Christmas vibes. Like I said, it's good New Year's Eve vibes as well. Some light wolf action, maybe not. Yeah, it's just a really
What's a
solid
light wolf?
solid movie. You know,
Light wolf.
light wolf.
They called me Light Wolf.
Step lightly. Yeah, I think this is definitely worth checking out though. If you haven't seen it, change that. Sounds like a general recommend from
That
the
seems
Straight
like a pretty
Chilling group.
tight recommend to me.
Pretty tight.
Toy.
Oh yeah, that's a nice tight recommend there.
It's got a tight recommend.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, if you're listening to the show on New Year's Eve and you haven't seen this movie, pause this, watch it, come back and finish the show.
And then
This
wait for the Patreon to drop, you know.
Yeah, you just have a straight chilling day.
And then
there
send us your
wait.
bank account information and social security number.
and
Yeah.
some news.
5
too.
Apple
Go ahead and
TV
do
gift
that.
cards.
Send your nudes to Juice.
Definitely,
specifically.
yeah.
Specifically send them to Juice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Soju the man
all
needs
agree.
to see them micrococks, my people.
He
Well, Randy, I
lives
told
off
you
them.
about that word, micro. Okay, we can't use that around here.
Well, check this movie out. This is one that you probably don't want to have spoiled for you. I'll go ahead and say
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we are going to be spoiling the shit out of this movie, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Whoa,
Ew.
I know you guys missed me last
Ew.
week, so I get a little extra in there. Bob, you got that plot synopsis for us?
Yeah, I got that macro plot synopsis. It's
Bob,
long. It's
It's
long.
got to be macro.
Ooh.
Thank you.
No.
Macro.
Big old doinks.
Big old doinks and
Macro
Amish.
doinks.
Macro doinks here, buddy.
Is that the best bump we have? Maybe. Big old doinks. All right. Yeah, here goes the plot synopsis for The Wolf of Snow Hollow. This story takes place in the small town of Snow Hollow, Utah. We see a woman get murdered and her mangled body is discovered with a paw print in the snow next to her. The struggling alcoholic deputy sheriff, John Marshall, is called to the scene. He discovers her genitalia and other body parts are missing. Next up, a snowboarding instructor is killed, and there's some wolf fur found on her body. The press starts saying there's a killer wolf about, and John starts drinking again due to the stress of the situation. The townsfolk become paranoid and flood the police with tips, including one of a strange encounter with a very tall man at a diner. To add to John's stress, his father, Sheriff Hadley, is diagnosed with a heart murmur, but he refuses to slow down at work or seek additional medical attention. Later that night, the woman who reported the tall man and her 3-year-old are killed. John begins researching werewolf lore. A curfew is also imposed, and Hadley finally seeks treatment due to another episode with his heart. At night, John's daughter Jenna sneaks out to see a boy, and they're attacked in an SUV. John shows up and shoots the creature, but it escapes and ends up killing a deputy. Hadley dies from a heart complication, and John spirals. A man is found dead in a camper from a heroin overdose, who is believed to be the killer due to his height. He also owns a pet wolf, and a body is found in his backyard. John begins returning evidence to civilians because the case is now considered closed. Officer Julia is notified that a seam ripper was mistakenly returned to the wrong person. She deduces it must be used for taxidermy. Taxidermy.
That's taxidermy in Germany, of course.
Taxidermy. And then she thus concludes it belongs to a man named Paul Carnery, who practices taxidermy. I'm going to keep saying it. Taxidermy in town. She heads that way as John
Tag.
visits Paul as well to return his things. Paul seems eager about the case and asks John about his daughter. Details about John's daughter were not disclosed to the public, and when John realizes this, he asks Paul to stand up to his full height. He does, revealing he's much taller than he presents. John chases
Surprise,
after Paul.
motherfucker.
And Paul ends up stabbing him in the stomach and lifts him up off the ground. As sirens approach, Paul puts on a homemade wolf costume and flees the scene. Officer Julia shoots Paul, and John shoots him several more times in the head as fireworks explode. Julia becomes the new sheriff in town, and she and John move young Jenna into her new college dorm. As John leaves, he overhears students making sexual comments about gymnasts staying in the dorm. He almost engages with them, but decides to just let it go. Roll them credits.
All right.
was
I
waiting for a
practice
bump there.
taxidermy.
Taxidermy. That's where
personally.
I'm going on vacation this summer, taxidermy.
You're gonna get
Hmm.
stuffed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to, Bob.
You got me and stuffed me, boys. Woo! Yeah, so this movie is a really interesting take on a werewolf movie. It's like
Mhm.
Yes.
kind of unlike any werewolf movie I can think of, where it's sort of it starts off as a whodunit. You don't really know if there is a serial killer in town or if there is a werewolf running around. And it like in the first act straight up shows you this giant ass werewolf creature, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
tight. So this is like a legit werewolf movie.
Yeah.
And as it sort of unfolds, it pulls the rug out from under you with that reveal where you see it's just a really tall dude dressing up in this really well-crafted
Taxidermist.
taxidermy costume. Yeah,
Mhm.
Well,
precisely.
that's something that comes up because it is a whodunit and you're following along with the police investigation. So it's got that angle in it. And that is a question that keeps coming up where is specifically one of the police officers, throws it out there like, oh, werewolf
Mhm.
and stuff. And of course,
Mm.
like the head, or not the head sheriff, but our main guy, our main protagonist, he shoots it down immediately. But then it kind of keeps coming up and he keeps thinking about it. I think it's interesting. I think one of the things about this movie that really makes it shine for me is these characters. I think they're very, very interesting, nuanced characters, and I think that they are portrayed really well. I wasn't aware, Bob, you had brought it up, that the main guy is also the director who
Mhm.
also wrote it. So
Yeah.
good
Yeah, I
on
found
him.
that out after the fact.
His birthday is October 31st, too, by the way. I just
Oh,
pulled up his
whoa.
IMDb.
Pumpkins.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Pumpkins.
But when I thought about this film before I rewatched it, this main character is something that stuck out in my mind. But when I was like watching it again, I was like, it's not. He's he's just a very interesting, nuanced character. He's like written really well. He's not perfect by any means. He's quite flawed. And he's got a lot of positive things about him, and he's got a lot of negative things about him. But I just think it all works really well to make an interesting character that is like the lines are like delivered really well. I don't know. I really, but not just him too. I like the woman police officer who ultimately
Ricky
becomes the
Lindholm.
sheriff.
Yeah.
And even the dynamic with the daughter, I think, works really well. I don't, the characters here really sell
And
this
his
movie for
dad
me.
too.
And his dad,
Yeah.
like just all the relationships work really well, but really kind of to build up this character for me. It's just so very, very fun to watch. I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the
Like
highlight for me.
I think I it did end up liking the majority of that stuff, but like by about the midpoint of this movie, I was not sure that I liked this main actor, like which turned out to be the writer and director. I did not know that at the time, but it was like it felt ham-fisted, and I wasn't sure how intentional that was. I get the impression now that it was a little more intentional than I was ready to give it credit for in those moments. But his character's like it's a very strange performance. I think it's just maybe just not one that we're used to, where it's kind of hard to read what he's thinking in it, like in certain moments. I don't know. I had a hard time with him for a while, where like I wasn't sure. Okay, is he drinking? Is he not? Like because they the way that they sort of like the way this movie is shot and edited is so interesting and like that part was like the standout for me more than the acting or the characters was like how things like scenes bled into each other even as far as the
Yeah.
title sequence and stuff like scenes just kind of like oozed into each other creating this weird sort of like fluid timeline and feel and I really did like that, but it made it harder for me to understand exactly where that character, who is so central to everything, is coming from for a while there. And for a majority of the film, I was still trying to like pinpoint exactly what I was supposed to be taking away from his performance, other than man, this guy fucking sucks. Like so much of his characterization is just like here's a guy that's like crashing out in big, spectacular, painful ways for his family. Like when his daughter is attacked and she's like, "You didn't even ask if I was okay." He screams at her and
Yeah, he's
complains
like, and
about
I'm
what
not
his
gonna
mother's gonna
ask.
say.
Damn.
Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
kind of shit heel behavior is that? That goes beyond being drunk. That's that's something else entirely. That's you being a fucking punk ass
He's
bitch.
like extremely flawed, but he's
Yeah,
played in an interesting enough way where like you can tell he really does care about these people. He loves these people in his life. He's just a fucking flawed dude
he is
who's
so
like
hyper defensive about fucking everything.
He's
yeah.
emotionally immature.
Absolutely.
He's
Yes,
that's his
absolutely.
thing
Yeah.
is like, but that's what's really interesting about it because there are some like better people in here, but also too the setting too of the small town. I think it helps
Yeah.
develop this a little bit more because I love the nuance of it, the time he spends with his daughter, with his dad in closed spaces. You know, you could tell how insecure he is. The whole sheriff aspect and like trying to be a leader, he's just not capable of it. He's really bad at it. It feeds into his insecurity. He also has anger management problems. He's like so flawed, but I think that those flaws are portrayed really well because I remember the first time watching again questioning like do I like this guy? Is this guy like annoying to me? Is it really hard for him to follow him as a main character? But I think that's what makes it very interesting is because you get those personal moments behind the scenes and you know that he does like really care, like he is trying his best. And I think I don't know, I just find it very interesting. I think it's just an
I
Yeah.
agree.
interesting character.
It's
Yeah, I
interesting
think
to like look back on. I'm sorry, Bob.
I think they do kind of like whenever he's researching the werewolf lore and stuff, and he's talking about that one like hilarious line where he's talking with the female cop Julia, or is that his daughter's name? I forget the female
Ricky
cop anyway.
Lindholm, whatever her name
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Detective Julia. Yeah, they're in the car and he's like, "Yeah, I was researching all this werewolf lore," and he's like, "I found out this date it goes all the way back to like the 17th century or whatever," he
Yeah.
says. And it's like these dudes that were just like really dealing with their own anger and their own issues and they were just lashing out at women and like they
So
would blame it on wolves.
why is women? It's been going on since
He's
the Middle Ages.
He's like, "Do you think women have been dealing with this since the Middle Ages?" And she gives him this fucking cutting
Dude,
look. And
so many
meanwhile,
times. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, he's like doing that in his own life while they're also
Yes.
trying to catch this murderer, that's doing the same kind of stuff. It's just like that moment, I think, encapsulates this movie so well. He's like, he's exhibiting these things that he's reading about, and he has no idea that he's doing it. He's just sort of like blinded by his own like insecurities and also just like drive. I think, he's trying to do his best, but he just doesn't have a fucking clue what
I
he's
think that's
doing,
right.
really.
Like this is a thing is like repeatedly, it's not just that moment. There's like multiple moments in this film that are exactly
Yeah.
like that, right down to Ricky Lindholm giving him the what the fuck eyes afterwards,
Yeah.
where he's exhibiting like a shocking level of naivete about what he's saying, and he seems to realize it only moments after he says it because of the look he's been given. You know what I mean? Like there's so like that's like somebody who is both insecure and hyper confident in whatever words happen to be spilling out of his mouth at any given moment, and that like that does to me reek of like some toxic thinking, and it does seem like something in line with what somebody who is addicted and falling down a spiral might behave. But in the moment when those things are introduced, I'm like, this guy can't be our main character, right? Like, what's going on with this guy? Like,
Yeah, it's so much more interesting that he is flawed, I think, than if he was just like this perfect, like
yeah.
do-gooder guy who
But it's
just
also a kind
has
of flawed that I don't think we see done
yeah.
this
It's like
chaotically
it's
very
like
often.
unflinchingly like difficult to watch him. Like it
Yeah.
stares down the barrel of his addiction in a way that I think most movies wouldn't necessarily have
It's not just him
the
like
balls to
pondering
do.
deeply over a half-empty bottle and
Yeah,
looking
when
mournful.
I mean, he
It's
chugs a
like,
bottle of
yeah.
mouthwash and then like falls into his oven door
Ooh.
and it shatters. And like
Yeah.
Dude.
And
Also,
it's not
too,
even
yeah,
just that either, though. It's also like these things where he's just like exhibiting like completely shoot from the hip chaotic behavior. If anybody says anything other than what he wants to hear in any given moment in his job, he just
it
takes whatever
freaks
little
out.
authority he has and just freaks the fuck out
Yeah,
and
and he
makes them
just
shit. Like he
he
fires people
fires people. Yeah,
like
yeah.
for no reason or for like at the drop of a hat. And I cut you off, Juice. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and that's the thing too, is because it's so easy to hate him and then feel bad for him sometimes too. Like with the daughter, like she carries him up the stairs and she's like, "Dad, just go to bed, just go,"
Dude,
and he like throws the
That
water
was a
bottle.
rough
And you,
scene,
God,
man.
So hard to
That was the
watch.
scene where I was like
Yeah.
really like, okay, I think I got this guy down now.
Man.
This is a guy who is like all of these things, they're not just like character flaws. It's a spiraling effect where every character flaw feeds into the other and it creates a fucking cyclone of chaotic,
Yeah.
destructive behavior. And now his own daughter is crying as he breaks her mirror in her room as he's like too drunk to function. And
after
he's
she
broken
carried
everything.
his ass up
Yeah,
the stairs.
carries- Yeah.
She also like therapizes his like I think the first conversation we see them have, she goes up to her bedroom to see if if she still has like the mace that he gave her. And she like, pivots the conversation because clearly her father's going through a lot of shit. And she's like, "Do you think maybe this has something to do with like your own relationship with your father?" And he's like, "Why are you changing the subject?"
His
And just
mother.
his mother,
Which-
yeah, his mother.
And that's another thing is like we get little tidbits of things like that, which I part of me is like God, I want to know more about his relationship with his mom. It seemed like she abandoned him. We know that, like, but we don't know under the circumstances. He calls himself an asshole. He's like, I am an asshole, and I like that moment. That's when he's spinning out in her bed. I was like, so what? Like, was his abandonment issues revolve around his mom calling him an asshole? Is he like? Is this tie? How closely does this tie into? Like, we just don't know all of the details of his past, and it turns out we don't need to. So I'm happy with the restraint at the end of things, but in the moment I was like so fucking curious about these things, and they don't spend a lot of time digging into those things. Even his relationship with his dad, it seems like the main thing that exists to do is to show like two men that are pathologically pursuing what they consider to be their most useful state, and even at the expense of their own health or the health of their families. That seems to be the common thread amongst those two men. And I think that like watching his father die from that, rather than being a wake-up call, just sends him further down a pipeline he's already tripping down.
Well, and I also think so, to go in like with the emotional aspect of it, I actually think it really balances the comedy really well too, especially for a film that's got a lot of kind of like drama, emotional things going on here. It's also quite dark. I mean, a woman and her baby are killed, but to
Yeah,
talk
man.
about this guy who has this situation, we talked about the daughter and her begging him to like go to sleep as he's drunk and can't function and stuff like that. But like the moment when he fucking uses his daughter's fingerprint. Okay, so we have this
Oh.
roller coaster.
Oh.
So he saves his daughter,
Jesus
and you're like,
Christ,
"Oh,
dude.
thank God he saved her." Then he's a huge asshole to her. He takes her to the hospital. Then he uses her fingerprint to open her phone. You're like, "Fuck this guy." Then he like goes over to that dude's house, and that shit is so funny. How the mom is just like stomping on his face, and he's got this shitty mask.
just like,
Like
what
he's
a
so
fucking asshole.
incapable, but it's
Yeah.
so funny because like
She's
then
pepper sprays her
Gets
own
maced,
kid.
yeah.
pepper sprays the shit out of him and her own kid, and then they realize who it is, and she's just like, and then he just fucking
What did you
leaves.
do?
But then he goes back to the hospital and is like whole his
Face is
looks
all fucked up.
And
terrible.
that's the
but-
moment
Yeah, his dad dies, so you're like,
while he was
and-
out performing that.
and
yeah.
you feel bad for him because you have seen
Oh,
him
man.
interact with his dad,
This is
know,
something,
and
yeah.
and he was so adamant about insisting that his dad go get help. So you feel
Mhm.
bad for him too. It's like a really
really is a
amazing balance.
Yeah,
of
it's an
these
emotional roller
things.
coaster.
Yeah.
That is an
Yeah.
amazing scene, and it is a roller coaster. I think that is, again, like, it's about the addiction. It's like this is a guy who's desperately trying to wrest any kind of control he can. He doesn't have the information he needs to solve the crime that's the center of his world. He can't keep his daughter safe or keep her loving him. He can't keep his ex-wife off of his back. He can barely get his father to go in to the fucking hospital or even admit that he has any sort of health issues. He can't control shit, and he is spiraling out hard because of that. And the only thing he knows to do in response to that is to take whatever new piece of information he has and just follow it all the way to the hilt without thinking, and hope to God that it turns out for the best. Just knowing, like, with an innate drunken confidence that breaking into this kid's house and assaulting him and pushing on his mom down the stairs or some shit to get to him is somehow the best use of his time instead of sitting with his ailing father and daughter in the fucking hospital. That's fucking psychotic, drunken behavior. In retrospect, it all fits very perfectly, but the experience of it is so whiplashy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
think that's why the second watch for me was so rewarding because, like I said, one of the big things that I remembered was that the wolf was not a wolf and that this character was such a roller coaster of like, do I hate him? Do I feel bad for him? But ultimately landing on like he was very interesting just an interesting character to think about and an interesting character to follow. And so watching it again, I found it kind of equally rewarding because I had already reflected on it after my first watch and was just kind of curious to experience it again and to a point where I knew where it ultimately ended up. And I think it's a really interesting character that written in that way and the balance, I think it's well made too. I think knowing
Yeah.
that this guy
Yeah.
wrote it and acted it out and directed it, I think all of those mesh really well. I think he really kind of like honed that character in through these different ways.
It feels like he's pulling from maybe some lived experience here because it does feel is like as kind of like chaotic and bombastic as this movie can seem in certain moments. It feels like very tightly written. It feels like he has such a clear vision of who this character is, and it feels like very real. It like real and unflinching, and that's like a difficult thing to write and portray, I would assume. And he does it with like such like confidence. Like he really knows who this person is, and like maybe a personal real life kind of way, perhaps. But it's really interesting to watch him play it, and I love how he has like such deadpan moments, and like some of the like dry little quips that he drops are like in between these like just tense, difficult moments to watch, and then just throws these little quips in there that are so fucking funny.
Dude.
I just love that the performance in
And
general.
they all serve, they for the most part all serve the character. Like when, okay,
Yeah,
another example of him being completely obliviously naive for some reason is when they get beamed with the beer bottle and the lady
yeah.
Ricky Lindholm's like, he was like, what was that? And she goes, beer bottle. I was like, who would want to throw a beer bottle in a
Who would
cop
want
car?
to?
And
Yeah,
she just looks at him, and I'm thinking, this movie was released in 2020.
yeah. Who would want
Hmm.
to throw a beer bottle at a cop car?
Interesting, Matt. It's just like fucking insane that like how anybody could be an officer and think that way is mind blowing. And obviously, it's just built on his character just being that naive and
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know. I really love all that stuff. I think that like the like again like the editing and all that stuff. It's so interesting and so it's pretty novel in my opinion, or at least it felt novel and really well done and really seamless for the most part, to the point though where like there were some things that were strange, like some of the score I thought was a little bit like over the top in a bad way. Like there was one part in particular, one montage, and I don't remember exactly what was happening, but the fucking score, which I almost never comment on the score unless it's like really great or really distracting, and this was just the latter. It was just like dun dun dun, like just like metal on metal kind of sounding shit, and just like driving this, and it was just so overbearingly loud, and like it seemed like it was kind of going comedic a little bit, which this movie kind of veers wildly between comedic, as we've talked about, comedic and dramatic. And I was just not feeling it. And Beck walked in that moment and like looked at the screen for about 10 seconds. Is like, is this a real movie? And turned and asked me that question. I was like, yeah, it is. It's like it was pretty early in the movie, so I was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet, but yeah, it is. It felt like cheaper than the rest of the movie somehow, and like I think it was probably an intentional comedic play, but it didn't necessarily play that way to my ears. And a lot of that had to do with the soundtrack of that moment. If it had been just a more typical montage, I feel like I would have been more focused on what was happening instead of that. Anyway, so yeah, just
There's
to add some critique to that.
the editing, the moments that I really notice when it comes to the editing, where like after somebody's been murdered, it would show scenes of their funeral, but like it would intercut scenes from like the fallout of their murder,
I
whether it
was
be
Yeah.
gonna say that
like
too. Yeah.
Like
like
everything all happens at once.
Jim talking to, the mother of whoever was killed, or like being chewed out by a
The
townsfolk,
father
or
like trying to get at
yeah,
him.
and like cutting back and forth between the funeral and just like the chaos that he's about to endure. And it's like
Mm.
that ramps the tension up like so effectively each and every time there's a murder, instead of just like showing the kill. It then
Ugh.
just has like this crescendo that puts me on the edge of my seat anyway. You're like, oh my God, like this, it feels like the pot's boiling, is getting higher and higher, and it's about to boil over. It's really effective editing, to your point, Randy, bringing that stuff up.
Well,
You
and
know,
I thought it added
mm,
to the sympathy of the character too. He's like
Yeah.
you understand his perspective of like feeling helpless. They even go through the thing like he is desperate to catch this guy, and part of it is ego, part of it is he really does care, and that's the
yeah.
delicate balance of it. It's like he's not just doing this, it's not pure ego. He doesn't
Mhm.
do it just to be to get the praise of the town people. Like it's really affecting
But
him.
but
Mm.
also like he's the way he behaves, especially with his daughter and stuff. It's clear that he is like he's doing it partially because he has a daughter he's worried about too. But then when his daughter's actually assaulted, his concerns are with his job and with his relationship with his ex and shit. He like it just there are times where it really veers into the territory of being like, I don't know if I really trust that this guy's. Sometimes it felt like he is too concerned with the job, more concerned with the job than with his family. I think that's clearly intentional, but it's hard for me to like work back at, like it's hard for me to walk that back and say like after the fact see him like talk to his daughter again and it feel like it's a good relationship again. Like it's like how do you come back from this as a father and daughter? How do you come back from this as a family where you are sitting there bleeding on the ground needing to go to the hospital and your dad's like, God, your mom's gonna give me hell for this. Like and desperately trying to decide whether or not it's worth taking his daughter to the hospital or going and chasing down this person. Both are important things, but it's your fucking daughter. If you're not
Yeah,
willing to
yeah.
prioritize that, then you are too focused on the fucking task, the job. That is an ego thing. Um, I don't know. So like I think that it is again another point of chaos that lends itself to this story that would be completely hard to watch in any other context. It's I don't know. It makes for an interesting viewing, I guess, is the long and short of it.
One flaw that I had with it both times, and I didn't remember that it was a flaw, but then when it happened again, I was like, oh yeah, because I thought maybe, or like by the second time it happened, I was like, okay, this wasn't just the first time then. Is how it all kind of like pans out. So the guy who ultimately is the
The killer.
wolf, the
Mhm.
killer, do we ever see him before, or is
I was
that the
going to
very
ask
first
about this.
time? Yeah, I'm a
Well,
I
little
don't
he's
think we see his
confused.
face,
we don't see his face. He's in the
but we see
diner,
him
but
I
we
know
don't
he's in the
see
off
diner,
him.
camera, kind of. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the way that they shoot it, okay, I'm glad that's the way that they shoot it, and the way it kind of comes together, where the guy calls, he's like, "Hey, there's this thing," and I don't think we'd
Hmm.
ever seen that
It
before.
feels like a missed setup.
Yeah, it feels like we missed a couple steps, or like some
Hmm.
scenes were cut. It feels like 10 minutes is cut from this film where the guy who ultimately the killer should
Yeah.
have
What is he
been
returning to this guy? We don't
somewhere.
know. We don't like.
Yeah.
These are the
Yeah.
Yeah.
things like
What
there's
is he
little
returning to that guy? Yeah,
just
it's very
evidence that he
confusing.
that's the thing is like we don't know we like and I guess like there's an argument to be had there. I feel the same way as you do where I'm like I don't understand, like this guy kind of comes out of nowhere and whatever,
Yeah.
but also they kind of there is kind of a lead into that I noticed, which is when they're talking but it's not direct, it's indirect, where they're talking about how like he and Ricky Lindholm were talking about like, well, we'll catch this guy. We'll catch him. They always screw
They
up. It's
always
always them
screw
that
up.
screw. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's always them that screws up. And that is kind of what happens. Is like it lands in their lap or it doesn't. And that's kind of true with a lot of like
But it's
serial murder situations.
just weird because the
Um,
way he's talking to this guy makes it seem like we've seen him before.
it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
he's returning
satisfying, but yeah,
evidence.
yeah.
What evidence? What is
Yeah.
it? We needed to see those pieces at least one
And
time before. They needed
and
to
the
be set up.
taxidermy stuff, like they like the big clue that Ricky Lindholm figures out was the seam splitter or whatever that
Yeah.
tool, and her also seeing the thick like taxidermy thread and taxidermy books. in the evidence, in his research, in Jim Cummings' research as the detective. So like he's researching taxidermy. Somehow there's a taxidermist from whom they've gotten evidence, and it takes him returning the evidence after crashing out in order to put together this might be his guy. Like,
Well, no,
Is
it
it-
wasn't until no, he didn't put it together until he said something about his daughter.
His daughter.
No,
So
that's
he
true.
said,
Well, yeah,
"How's
but
your
until that
daughter
scene,
doing?"
yeah.
But that wasn't a public thing, or like something. Yeah, something about. So that's where he slipped up or whatever. So it
yes,
wasn't
he did
about
screw up,
that.
but also like it doesn't. That's a 1-on-1-2 situation. Like a detective, for example, might see, if you're researching taxidermy, you must have some inclination to think, okay, maybe this is a costume. Why wouldn't I look at a taxidermist? And a taxidermist
But
has provided evidence of some kind.
They did kind of set that up before, and I think they did. I mean, not really, because this is also a little too convenient for me. Because they do set the other guy up, where the guy is like, "Yeah, this guy died. He was literally half a mile or whatever from the original
Yeah.
crime scene.
Yeah.
He's got a pet wolf. He's got a wolf tattoo. He's got a collection of like fancy fucking knives, and you couldn't even figure that shit out." So the incompetence to not put
But
all
I
the
don't know
pieces
about
together
that
about a
either.
taxidermist.
I was
Does
going to
kind
ask
of
about
fit that,
but he already
pattern.
was looking at the taxidermist before they discovered that guy. Before that guy became.
That's the problem. We don't know what the evidence
We don't really
is.
You don't know what the
It
evidence
seems
is. This is
that
not
way.
about the investigation. That's the thing this is the thing that's tripping me up. Is this movie sets itself out as an investigation into a
Yes.
potential werewolf string of killings, but that is not what it is at all. It is purely a character study, and that is the set
Yes.
dressing.
That's the
And
problem.
to that end, I think that that's interesting and cool, but it leaves something to be desired because I still want to know what
Feels
I still want to know the nuts and bolts of it.
And I don't think it would have taken too much effort to. I honestly
No.
think like 5 to
It could
10
have been real
minutes
subtle.
could have wrapped it up more.
Even
neatly.
if that guy showed up in the montage of people coming in and offering like bogus tips or whatever, that where we see the mother talk about, oh, I met this tall guy or whatever. If they had shown like they showed a couple bits and bobbles from different people, if it showed like 3 seconds of him saying like, oh yeah, I found this like dumb bullshit that is not important, obviously, ha ha ha, big laugh for the montage, and then that's the guy later on, and what he was providing was an intentional mislead or just him trying to get close to the case or some shit. All of that could have been like it doesn't take much, just a sprinkle, and I'm
And
satisfied.
Also, to the whole thing to where he was like, "Do you mind standing up to your full height?" And I was like, "That's a weird thing to say. Who just walks around?"
Just
Like, you've
walking
never-
with a hunch.
Well,
You've
I think he
never
noticed that he's
seen a
like bending
guy-
over through the
Yeah.
window, and then next
Yeah.
time he sees him, he's sitting the whole time.
But
And I
he
think
had to
that's-
walk into the house. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
but he
they're
was already
trying to-
seating. He left the door ajar and was like, "Come on in," and he goes and like he's sitting
Yeah.
at the table when he comes in, or is sitting down
Yeah,
to
I
the
guess.
table.
Yeah, I guess.
I do. I like that reveal, honestly, when he asked him to stand up to his
'Cause
full
he's
height,
so
he
tall.
does, and then he just goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, me too.
I really
like
like
that
that.
scene. Like once it plays out and he's in the wolf
Yeah.
shit. Like
It's a
I
little
love
Zodiac-y,
that. Yeah.
but it feels
is.
like it feels
Yeah.
that way in a way where it doesn't. It's impossible to predict because we've never seen this guy. We don't know dick about this guy.
Yeah,
So
it
it's not
comes
like
a little
it's
out of nowhere.
solvable.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it's not the point of the movie, and I get that, but if it's going to be so integral to the conclusion of the movie, to his fulfillment as a character, then I would like to see just a little bit more groundwork played out. I still don't even understand how like this guy that overdosed with the wolf tattoo and all this stuff. We see him multiple times. They say that they found a body in his backyard.
One
They
of the
found
bodies,
but like
yeah.
what body? Like was that planted there? Like what?
I
What
yeah, I
is
think
the
it was
implication?
framed, being framed by the other
Oh.
guy. That's how I interpreted it.
Okay, I
anyway.
mean that makes sense, but we don't get anything besides us
Yeah.
guessing that. Like,
yeah,
Especially
true,
too, who's got a pet wolf and a wolf tattoo, and like
It
it's
is a
a little
good-
too convenient. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like here is this another big ass dude who lives
Yeah, who
half
has a
a
drug
mile
problem.
from the thing, who's got a pet wolf, who's got a wolf tattoo. It's like okay, that's
yeah, a wolf tattoo
and
and,
a lot
who
of
fucking
knives.
ODs. Well, that's the thing. Is like he ODs and dies, and that's why they find things. So did the other guy, the tall guy, actually poison
Plants
him?
and knives, or maybe poison. Yeah, maybe.
I
Like
don't
so that he would
know.
be like so he would die, so the police would come, so they would find the body. I mean, if they had somehow implied that more directly, I would be like 100%
Yeah,
fine.
if he was that local drug dealer too, or
It
something.
just leaves a lingering question that obfuscates that I think draws my attention away from what the main actual thrust of the story is, and that part is still intact. So it's just a distraction at this point, and that's a shame because it is the culmination of the movie at the same time.
Yeah. I love that chase scene out into the woods though, as the fireworks are going off and they finally
Auld
catch the
Lang
guy.
Syne
He's in the
as a-
yeah, Auld Lang Syne.
That's great.
That whole scene is just fucking great. So I think like if I'm trying to recall the first time I watched this, which was a few years ago, like I probably was a little like, who the fuck is this guy? But then when it like really hits that high note with the reveal, I was like, man, that's fine. Like it was just a really satisfying chase scene at the end. I was like, man, that shit
Hey,
wraps
oh,
up,
sorry.
you know?
And
Yeah,
another
that's it.
question though, like because from there we see they do the fucking hot fuzz thing where they pretend he's dead. Of course he's not dead. Ricky Lindholm is dropping his daughter off at college, and we think, oh man, her mom couldn't make it, so like, and her dad's dead, so Ricky Lindholm's dropping her off. And then it turns out he's alive. He's just seemingly not on the force anymore, whatever. And he says, "I left you some protection," and she's like, "Oh my god, Dad!" And then she looks in, and I expected her to find a gun or a pepper spray or something, and instead she finds just condoms, like she suspected. And I was like, "So what's?" And then she looks kind of like wistfully towards the door, and it's like it's just a strange scene. I don't know what it's trying to tell me about
I
their
think it's
relationship.
the
exactly.
emotional maturity of the father, because even then he hears the boys coming by and say like, "Ooh, fresh meat," and he's like going
Yeah.
to react irrationally.
Normally
he
he would
also
scream at that
left-
kid at least. Yes.
I think he also left his father's belt buckle in her drawer because as he's
Oh, is
walking
that shown?
out, they don't show it, but as he's walking out, he's putting his belt back on. He's like, you see him like putting his belt on his pants, and the belt buckle is not on there. So you don't see
I
it
don't-
though. That's just
I
what
don't
I'm
remember
guessing.
the belt buckle ever actually. Like,
Oh yeah, he
did that
puts it
show
on.
up?
Yeah, his dad always wears this
Yeah.
big chunky belt buckle, and you see him put it on after his dad passes away.
I guess I missed that entirely.
Yeah. That I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of guessing at that. We don't see it.
No.
But that's what I
That's
thought.
interesting. So
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that of all things, like if that's true, I wish they would have hammered that just a little bit more. I don't need it dumbed down for me, but I would like it to. I would like the harmonies to really come together at the end. You know what I mean? They're
Mhm.
setting this up, set it up well enough to where it's simple for me to be like, yes, it is. I can make that connection without like any post discussion necessary, like or any guesswork necessary. Really, is the thing. So that's where I think this movie really like has some issues, is with that it doesn't always fully set things up in a way that it does it in a way that's like trying to conceal its tracks, but too well maybe, or I don't know. There's I just have a hard time with some of the plot points really, and it sticks in my craw a little bit, I guess.
Need that crawl. Damn. Gotta
My
clean
damn
that
crawl.
out.
Duck in my damn
Gotta
craw.
clean that crawl out, my guy.
I know.
The filthy craw.
There's also like just really again like they don't show it all a lot, but like some brutality to this. You know, it's all I think women dying. The scenes that they do of the wolf early on, I think, are pretty effective. It doesn't
Mhm.
like look. It's like when you're
Well, it's-
looking like close, it's like a little janky, but they keep it hidden in the
Off-screen mostly,
shadows.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think they treat it well. Yeah.
I
agree.
think so too.
It's one of the better Wolfman like
Yeah.
movies in general that I've seen, and like the portrayal of the Wolfman, the hiding of it, the like what they do reveal, what they don't, and focusing primarily on the outcome of these attacks is it's just really smart way of making sure that your werewolf is actually scary instead of a prop. So yeah, I don't know. I like that about it too. I'm a very big fan of that thing. One other thing about the killer though is like he takes the first girl's vagina, he takes a woman's head, and he's a taxidermist, but they never say anything explicit about him doing a fucking taxidermy job, like Frankenstein's monstering up a wife or something, which is what I thought they were headed right towards. It's
Hmm.
again left to implication. Like, what are his
Yeah,
motivations?
I'm
Why did he
okay
do
with
those
that
things?
though too. To be
I can
fair,
be
Yeah.
I'm
okay
like
with it, but
okay with it.
I'm deadly curious though.
Well,
I just want to
you,
know.
you see his workshop, and the woman's head is like sitting on his
It
table, like he's
Yeah.
gonna
is.
do something with it. But that's enough for
It
me, really.
is. Yeah.
Mm.
Kind of gnarly. Yeah, it's honestly like, we kind of kicked this year off with Lee Whannell's Wolfman, like a brand new Wolfman movie.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't quite land the plane on that. I think the wolf is treated in a way more interesting manner here.
Oh yeah.
You see a lot less of it.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, there was some like kind of interpersonal, like familial drama happening in that movie too, actually.
Sure.
Just I think it's a little more
Kinda.
effective here.
The
Kind of,
acting
yeah.
was much worse in that film.
Yeah. Woof.
Significantly worse.
Woof. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're booking in the year with some wolf films, some alpha films.
Wolfmangs.
Wolf
Oh,
names. Anything else you guys want to mention before we rate this bad boy?
I think I'm
that's
good.
for me.
All right, well, let's do it. Rand Diesel, why don't you kick us off out of 5? How do you feel about The Wolf of Snow Hollow?
yeah, I've pretty much, I think, exhausted what I have to say about this movie. I like it a lot. I think the chaotic start-stop, impulsive nature of the lead character is a little hard to watch, a little hard to follow, especially with such a unique blending editing style and stuff. But I think it really makes it like pretty haunting and interesting at the same time. So I can't hold it against it. I think it works to the benefit ultimately. Where I think it really, where I'm left wanting is for some of those little nitpicking answers that I really want to have, even if it's not particularly needle moving for the real story at play here. If you're gonna have your werewolf story, you might as well work in all of the detail, not all, but like a few more details so that you can flesh out the nuts and bolts of what it is he's actually chasing. But it doesn't harm the movie much more than just being a distraction and like a thing that's left open ended that I kind of wish wasn't. Some of those details. Some of the music was not great. Some of it was great. The ending with I think it was "Oh Holy Night" and that leading into "Auld Lang Syne," some hymn, Christmas hymn leading into "Auld Lang Syne" in the final fight. The dynamic of Ricky Lindholm being clearly the clear heir apparent to being the sheriff, the level-headed, like sobering person versus the chaotic, absolutely by any definition not sober heir apparent that they have by way of family ties. Like I like that dynamic. I like the dynamic of the kid and the dad. It all works, I think, most of all as a character study. And I love a character study, so I'm into this movie. I think it's pretty fun, and I really, like I said, love the way that they portray the wolf. I like that there's a bit of a swerve with the wolf. I would have been happy kind of either way, I think, but it helps things make sense to me the way that they worked out, and that it turns out to be a little bit more of like a Zodiac than a true Wolfman sort of thing. I liked it. I liked it a whole lot. I'm very fresh off of it, so there's a little recency bias here. Room to plummet, room to rise, but my feeling right now is a solid 4.
Or from Rand Diesel. Juice, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in line with that. I really like this movie, but I think it's flawed. So I like the acting, I like the directing style. Sometimes I also found the music slightly distracting or not matching exactly what was going on, but sometimes I think it was strong, so I'm kind of split on that, like the fireworks scene and stuff like that. Ultimately, I think one of the biggest flaws on my second watch is that I feel like it's really easy to also make the ending feel more satisfying, and that like we got there a little bit more naturally, and to make it all make a little bit more sense. Like if we had seen this guy one more time before, if the tool had come up one more time before, like what is this, or them questioning it, or somebody else talking about the tool, if it was maybe a little bit more clear that this guy who's got a pet wolf was framed in some way. I think that would have been enough. I really think it would have taken less than 10 minutes to do all that thing, because even I think that they do a good job, like even just showing the guy in the wolf outfit just for a second with the head off, like it makes it all just crystal clear exactly what's going on, but then yeah, he does have a really big knife too, and he stabs the guy, and I don't know. I don't know why that other dude would have a bunch of knives too and have a wolf tattoo, or if they were working together in some way. I don't know. It's just not tidy. I think that's really my biggest critique of this. But yeah, I think it's an interesting, fun watch, and it's just a movie that I just don't really see talked about or brought up much. And it's Christmas vibes. So it's a good Christmas horror film, I think. And good winter watch too. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll echo that. I think I'll give it a 4 as well. Bob, how are you feeling out of 5?
I feel pretty good about this one. It's just so difficult to make a werewolf movie in general. And to make a really, really effective one like this on what appears to be fairly limited resources. My hat's just kind of off to the filmmaker here, especially knowing that he wrote, directed, and starred in it as well. Like it's just really difficult to do all of that at a fairly high level here. And when you do get the wolf, it looks really impressive. I don't know that I've seen like a werewolf movie played out as a whodunit like this before, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I like that sort of genre hybrid here. The main character is just a really interesting, flawed guy, some great performances. It does deliver on the Christmas vibes and the New Year's Eve vibes, which I feel like New Year's Eve horror is kind of hard to come by too. That reveal at the end when the dude stands up is it's just great. It's just really, really great. I think this is just like a really like unflinching portrayal of alcoholism, and it's just really difficult to sit with, but in a really effective way for the movie and for this character development. Robert Forster does a great job in this as well. He's got a couple funny lines, and pour one out for this being his final film. I think, at least he went out on what we would consider to be a pretty solid film at the end of the day. It's just interesting. It's really interesting, very intriguing, solid Christmas winter horror flick, and it's a short watch too. It's like not even an hour and a half.
Yeah, 184, I think.
1 hour 25 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, just solid, man. Minimal critiques, but like, yeah, they could have left some more breadcrumbs along the way to give the audience the slightest chance to figure out who the killer is. But yeah, I love that they tricked me. I did not see the ending coming whatsoever. I mean, you just see this giant werewolf in multiple scenes throughout this movie. It's like, oh fuck, there just is a werewolf in this town. And that rug pull where it's like, no, it's just this crazy tall, insane man. I love that.
Taxidermist.
The town's taxidermist. I love that reveal. This is really interesting. Feels fresh and well done. So yeah, I'm sitting at a 4 as well on this one. We are in line. Straight up 4.
This definitely ranks among the best werewolf movies. I'm looking at like American Werewolf in London, Ginger Snaps, The Howling, Wolfman, arguably Trick or Treat, even though that's not exclusive to werewolves. Like, there's really
it's top 10.
It's got to be top 10. Like the bar, the average is low. I would say
it's a low average.
Movies.
Yeah.
It's lower than a lot of like the standard creatures, the vampires and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's not hard to find a bad werewolf movie, and it's quite hard to find a good one. And I think we found a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. Definitely watched it. If you haven't and you listen to this, I'm sorry that we've spoiled it. You should have listened to me at the beginning of the show.
I told you.
We're just innocent, man.
So yeah, that's a 4 from the Straight Chilling crew. Let's jump into our Rotten Tomatoes segment, see what the critics and users have to say.
Certified fresh to death.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gents guess, within the best of their abilities, what the aggregate positive score is for The Wolf of Snow Hollow on RottenTomatoes.com. We're going to start, as we always do, with the critic reviews, or the tomatometer, of which there are 78, and then move on to the poopometer, or the users, which have 500 plus ratings. So, critics, tomatometer, 78 reviews. Let's start with Soju. Welcome back to Soju. You get first bite at the apple. What are you thinking? What percentage are positive?
Can you tell me one more time how many?
78.
Okay. That's kind of surprising, to be honest. It's a pretty solid sample size. Critics. I don't know. This is a hard one. It's weird because I feel like I just have never seen this movie ever talked about, really ever in any. So, but I don't know. I think the critics will appreciate what's going on here. Like what Bob said, smaller budget, really kind of getting the most out of it. Interesting style, but not in like a wacky kind of way. I think maybe we'll be men of the critics this week. I'll say 80, what we gave it. So 80.
Okay. 80 from Soju the man. Bob, where are you coming in at?
That's kind of right where I was thinking. So I gotta take the boys 86 project. Let's
They
roll.
never let you
God
down, Mom.
damn.
Never let me down.
86, the
By the
boys
way,
versus.
Project, I mean, we're past time now. I guess I should have said this a week or two ago, but Project 86 has a Christmas EP out there, boys.
Oh, shit.
So for next year, hold on.
One
to
last Christmas.
it. Hold on to it. For
One
next year.
last Christmas.
One Christmas.
You gotta make it rhyme. You gotta do it.
You gotta force it to rhyme. Make it rhyme.
That was
All
rhyming
right.
with anything.
So one of you,
Yes, it is.
one
You gotta make it.
last Christmas.
Christmas.
What are we confused about?
Yeah,
here?
what's
We're
the
spinning.
question? What's the question?
That square can go into the round hole. It's fine. Let's see. One of you is just 4 percentage points away from the correct answer. The correct answer is 90%. Bob is walking this one home. This is certified fresh.
The boys never let me down. One last Christmas.
One
last disguise.
We did
last
it.
Christmas.
Last Christmas.
We did it. The boys. We did it.
Boys, they did it for you, Bob.
All right. Let's move over to our poopometer, or our user review. There are over 500 ratings counted here. We're going to go in reverse order. Bob, out of those 500 plus ratings, what percentage would you wager the users gave this movie in terms of positive scores?
I do believe this is going to be pretty high. I don't think it's going to be quite as high as the critics. 90's up there. I don't think it'll be better than that. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm doubling down on the boys. Let me go 86 Project one more time, please.
Ooh.
Last disguise.
All right. One last Christmas.
Thank you.
Soju, hit me with your guess. What percentage are positive out of those 500 plus user ratings?
I actually think this is gonna be significantly low. I mean, it's significant. I think it's gonna be noticeably lower, not like 4 points.
Hit us with that like 35 real quick, Jim.
No, so I'll play it safe and I'll double down as well, but I think it'll be surprisingly lower than the critics. So 80 for me. I'll say 80.
Okay, so I was
I'll
gonna say
double down.
by double down you mean an 80. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. 16 percentage point difference. Soju's on the money with this one, or not on the money. He's closer.
Just
This
closer.
is a 64%.
Yeah.
Very much a middling score from the users on this one.
The boys. Fuck.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, you know what? That's a classic.
Watch your profanity.
Skeet and hell yeet.
there it
That's
is.
if we gotta close the year out with something, why not a skeet and eat?
Why not
We
a
gotta
classic
close
Skeet
it with
and
something.
Something.
The critics' consensus reads as follows: The Wolf of Snow.
That
something.
close
Close it with something. The
Ah.
critic consensus It reads as follows: The Wolf of Snow Hollow treads somewhat unsteadily between horror and comedy, but writer-director star Jim Cummings' unique sensibilities make for an oddly haunting hybrid. I think that's pretty much on the money for me.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, we've
Sure.
seen a
I would
lot
say-
worse.
Thinking about it even a little bit more, I was like, I think maybe the comedy aspects were just throwing me quite a bit, and like because I wasn't clear how comedic they were supposed to be a lot of the time. So I eventually kind of like figured out the tone, I think, and it is whiplashy. That's part of it too. But the
It is like
comedy
a
aspects were-
black comedy for
yeah,
sure.
I
So
could do like if they could if they stripped out 90% of the comedy and just left a few pieces of levity to break the tension, then I would be like right at home with this. But it's going for a little bit more humor than I would anticipate from such bleak material. Yeah, interesting. Let's read a couple negative reviews while we got a chance, and then we'll move on. Let's see. A negative review. Here's one. Playing a violent, sexist cop for dark laughs is a questionable venture in 2020 when there's little to no real catharsis, only violence and self-pitying, brooding men. Is that a
Brooding.
questionable venture? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think we get. I mean, they're not. I mean, you get the woman sheriff and you get the daughter. I think you can.
yeah, this guy's like, I mean, I guess he finds out who the killer is, but like he would like the woman saves it. Like he is about to die.
Ends up
Yeah, he
like,
very
as
much is
the
about to die.
sheriff.
yeah, like they don't really portray him as a hero. He's an extremely
No.
flawed human.
Yeah,
so.
no, really, they just kind of shit all over him.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
You're barely sure if you
no
kind
real
of are rooting
catharsis.
for
I
him.
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
Even
Julia
these
saves
negative
his
reviews
ass.
are like that was a that negative review was 2.5 out of 5, so not the worst review ever. And then the only other negative review I've scrolled up on here is a C plus. So even amongst negative reviews, not too terrible. It seems like, at least not that I've seen. So yeah, interesting. And the
Gotta beat
accusers
that drum,
disagree.
boys.
We're gonna be men of the critics on this one,
Gonna beat the drum.
Something.
or something.
Or something.
Bob, how's trivia looking this week?
Oh, hi. There's really not much trivia to speak of, so let's go ahead and talk about our Cooter of the Week.
Straight chillin'. Gooder of the week.
Juice, what is a cooter and why do we hunt them?
Hello, Bob. Cooter's character type. Straight chillin'. Loose.
Excellent.
Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a cooter, but we want the cooter with the most points. 5 points of cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, think we got some cooters this week.
Do we really?
Shall we start with
Our
Jim? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I think
boy
we got
Jim.
to. My boy Jam.
All right,
Slim
pathetic.
Jim.
Yes,
Yeah, he's quite pathetic.
he's quite
Yes.
pathetic in a number of ways that we've already detailed. I don't think we need to
Even when
question
he
that.
was like his line to when his dad is dead and he's been maced and he gets maced in the face and like his little mask and shit. He's like, I was protecting the family.
The
It's like, no,
family.
you weren't.
Yeah. No, you were trying to
No.
beat
You
some
You were beating up a
kid's ass.
teenager,
Yeah.
breaking and
teenager,
entering,
yeah.
pushing a mom aside so you
Who
can
your
beat up a
daughter
teenager.
or like
Yeah.
hooked
Was
up
just
with,
making out with. Yeah.
yeah,
Like it's
for herself. Like it's just
not a huge. Yeah. He's dude was about to beat a minor like in his bed, which is
And even
fucking
like,
insane.
and even if you just take
Stop.
him, yeah, he's a minor. There's
It's gonna
also
beat
like
him.
beat him raw.
That's what he's gonna do. God damn.
In his bed.
All right. All right.
Oh, prison,
All right,
prison
all right.
for all of us.
All right.
Rob mostly.
Mostly.
Prison for Rob.
You
Randy gets
What
a
was I-
little bit. I have no prison.
Oh,
All
I
right,
didn't.
judge, jury, and executioner over.
Okay.
I get no prison.
No prison for
I, of
civil
course,
But-
you get that Trump pardon, of course.
Pathetic.
Oh,
He's
whoa,
pathetic.
whoa.
Smug arrogance. I think he's got smug arrogance down faux show.
Yeah.
The way he's firing people and like yelling at people what to do and shit. Sexual deviance. I don't think so.
I don't see much of that actually. Like
Yeah.
he's not sexually driven really at all in this, as far as we
No.
can tell. Even like like a lesser movie would have probably like hinted at a romance between him and Ricky Lindholm. They don't do that even. Like I think that's wise. There's
Mhm.
enough going on. But he is a bit of a prick to like his ex-wife. He's neglectful of his daughter, obviously, but like romantically speaking, the only romantic partner we see him with is a woman that hates his guts, and it is mutual, and they just hate each other very verbally and very very abusively, even at a fucking public diner. So not a good dude, but sexual deviance, I don't think I'd call it that.
Yeah, I don't think so. And looking at Tyre, he looks like a normal dude. I don't really think
Yeah,
he's got that.
yeah.
So, but he's got 3 out of the
He's-
5,
He does.
which is
Yeah.
enough.
That is enough to book him for sure. Let's also take a look at our boy, the taxidermist.
Yeah.
We don't know. Again, we don't know a lot about his motivations or anything, but like, yeah, he's cutting out vaginas and stuff. He's dressing
Yeah.
up. So he's got sexual
There's-
deviance.
Yeah.
He's got looking at Tyre, dudes going full wolf to make his killings. That's a choice. Arrogance. He invites the cop in and asks him about the case, and that's how he slips up, which is also a bit pathetic. I think this guy's hitting a lot of the points.
Yeah,
What else
even
is
if we
left?
get him a little bit. He's sexual
And-
deviance, I think, is easy to give him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Patheticness, looking at Tyre.
Look at
He's dressing up like a wolf, yeah. And walking around with a hunch when he's not.
Are you suggesting that a wolf costume for your murder spree is not a cooter attire?
I mean, he did a good job with it now. He's a master taxidermist.
it is not about the taxidermist quality here.
Taxidermist.
The taxidermist.
I think he hits enough as well.
Yeah, I think so,
he
yeah.
hits enough.
Manipulation
he-
is the only one we haven't addressed, and I mean,
Oh, he's dressing up like a wolf.
he's at that diner
Well,
talking to
also
one of his
too, if he
victims,
frames
and
somebody
he's-
else. Which
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
not
that's true.
really
If it is a
clear
frame
about,
job, then that's a clear choice.
which it
Yeah, I
seems
mean-
like it kind of is.
They find a corpse in the dude's backyard. I mean, he's
I don't know how they would do
had
that. Yeah.
had to have put it there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's also like calmly talking to a future victim at a diner and her daughter. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
yeah, he kills a 3-year-old kid
Yeah.
for crying out loud. Book him, like, yeah, good
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah, he's a bigger cooter than our,
But
our
also
hero,
too,
which is saying a lot.
the only thing too is that kind of sucked. But like that woman had a gun, she just didn't.
I guess she
shoot
didn't
this
hit him?
man. Yeah.
Or like, yeah, she did. She shot at him, but it didn't take somehow.
He didn't take it. He refused to take the
I'm
bullet.
saying, I'm refusing the charges. Thank you.
No thanks. No thanks.
You keep those bullets, ma'am.
So yeah, Mr. Taxidermist hits higher than your
He
boy
does.
Jim.
He
Yeah.
does.
There we go.
All right. Well, we got him. I don't think there's anybody else.
No, I
Nobody
don't.
else we're talking about.
I don't think so. We got him. Book the taxidermist. Lock him up.
Got
Throw away
him.
the key.
Got
We
his
got him.
ass.
Boys, let's go ahead and make the librarian's year by ending with a little bit of what we've been watching this week.
Oh yeah.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Randizo, what you been watching?
Well, hello there. So I actually, for Christmas, went to a cabin with my family, and there was not much of a TV to speak of there. There was one that we managed to rig up to play It's a Wonderful Life, which is a must-see, and still one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my favorites of the holiday season. So I did watch that, but I didn't get to watch a whole lot of other Christmas movies since we last spoke. So I actually got probably a record low of Christmas films in this year just
Whoa.
because of my busyness, which is a shame. But I did see a few more Bob's Burgers Christmas specials, which are always quality. caught that on DirecTV, which I haven't watched anything with that many commercials in a long time. So thank you for that, DirecTV. And then the only other things I've been watching, I finished up the season of Pluribus, and I like that show a lot. Speaking of character studies, that's what it is in a lot of ways, and also a bit of a thinker in terms of the sci-fi aspect of it, giving you a lot to chew on, but very methodical, slow-paced show. Not a heavy action show at all. I have to stress that because people seem to be like pissed that it's not as action packed as like Breaking Bad or something. It's just not, but it's great. I enjoy it a lot. Ray Seahorn is pretty fucking fabulous in this role. So I'm enjoying it. And then the last thing I'll mention is same as I've been mentioning, Hades 2. Still running through that shit. It's great. It's a great game. And I have to get to the true ending quickly because I also got the new Katamari game. I want to get into
Oh
that shit
shit.
soon.
Damn.
Yeah, that's it for me. Short list this year or this week
Mm.
rather.
All right, Juice, what you been watching?
Yeah, watch some of the classic Christmas stuff. Threw on Gremlins at one point. Elf, Harry Potter OG was on at one point. So, just going through the list. One new film that I did watch was One Battle After Another. So that new DiCaprio movie. Yeah, I know it's good. I didn't really know anything about it. That just that it was getting a lot of praise this year. So threw
Mm-hmm.
that on. I think it was on HBO.
Yeah.
So watched that, and it was good. A little long in the tooth, as they say, but good.
They say that.
A lot of people say that.
You
Most
hear
people.
people saying that.
I hear them saying it, but in a different context.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear that phrase. The meaning lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Yes. The only other like new kind of thing I've been watching is the newest season of Culinary Class Wars, which I was watching, and I hate this. I don't know why the streaming well, I do know why. It's money, of course. But it's yeah, Culinary Class Wars, but they released like a certain amount of episodes, and I was watching it and going along, and then I hit a stopping point, and it was like, oh, released on December 30th, and then there's like one more episode to be released like January 13th, and I was like, God damn it, no! But that's that Korean cooking show that blew up last year, and they're pretty much following the same kind of format this year, so far as I could get at least. But yeah, it's still entertaining, but yeah, pretty much the same kind of thing. You have like famous white chefs or chefs in white coats, and they're not.
Damn.
Only the whites, please.
They're only Korean actually. And then you have some kind of like more not amateur, but just not well-known chefs competing. So in the black coats. So yeah, entertaining. But that's it. That's all I've been watching. Bob, what you been watching, my guy?
Yeah, blasted through a couple classic Christmas movies, Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, Krampus, some good stuff. Also, finally got around to watching The Life of Chuck, which is the newer Mike Flanagan movie that came out this past summer, and really thoroughly enjoyed that. It is based on a Stephen King book. It is not a horror movie at all. I guess more of a straight up drama with maybe some light kind of sci-fi-ish stuff happening.
All right.
It's great though. It kind of a non-linear story told in 3 acts. A different kind of movie for sure, but I loved it. So I very much recommend checking out The Life of Chuck if you haven't seen that one yet this year. Also been trying to watch, just a handful of horror movies that have been getting some talk, some newer releases from this year that have been getting some hype that maybe I haven't seen to prep for our top 10 of the year coming up in a few weeks. So I threw on a movie called Strange Harvest, which I think that was on Hulu, and it is a faux documentary about a serial killer. And it very much reminded me of like, just in any given serial killer documentary that you might watch on Netflix, but this is it's a made up serial killer. And they're interviewing, the police officers that investigated the case and, people that were related to the victims or knew the victims and stuff like that. And they're going through all the different murders that took place. And it, has kind of a reveal at the end. And it was okay. It reminded me a lot of the Poughkeepsie tapes, actually.
Whoa, the old
You
poops
guys remember
tapes, huh?
the Poops tapes? Remember that one?
I remember those.
Similar kind of vibe. I also watched a movie called The Damned, which came out in like January of this year. It was a theatrical release. Might have been the first horror movie released this year in theaters, if I recall correctly. And I actually really like this one. It's an English language movie, but it is, I think, a Norwegian production. Super small cast, really slow moving movie about an Icelandic fishing village, or well, it's a camp really, it's not a village. And there's like a kind of tragedy that happens, and the people that are living in the camp just have to deal with the fallout. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Very moody, tons of snow, big time winter vibes. So if you want to throw on a wintertime horror movie that's just kind of a slow mover, kind of vibey, throw on The Damned. And that was streaming somewhere, man. I don't remember. That might have also been on Hulu, perhaps. I think they both might be on Hulu. But yeah, that was solid. Check out The Damned. I recommend that one. And that's all I've been watching this week.
Yeah,
Um,
Bob, did you know that Life of Chuck was given the honor of number one worst movie of the year on Variety last week?
Wow.
Variety can eat my ass, dude.
Yeah, that
Oh,
seems to be the
Bob.
prevailing response to that. Is people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, if you've seen like three movies this year, maybe that's the worst one you saw.
War
Like,
of the
get
Worlds,
the
the
fuck
all
out of here.
Zoom edition with
Yeah.
with fucking uh who is it in this movie? Ice Cube is who's in this movie.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was their number three. So somehow that was supposed to be better than
What?
Life of
Okay,
Chuck.
so this is
Fuck
just like
off.
clickbait
Fuck
bullshit, man. That
off.
that doesn't, yeah, that's not a
Oh,
real art variety.
oh,
Eat my ass, variety.
oh boy,
They will
Bob.
for a price.
Gum my ass down,
Whoa,
variety.
Bob. Whoa.
Ooh.
No. Bob.
We don't have any voicemails this week, but we do have an email that a lovely listener sent over to us. We're gonna go and read that. Juice, do you have that pulled up, sir?
I do, I do. And apologies, this was sent December 5th, 2025. We
Yeah, we're
get a lot
behind.
of spam mail. I'm not gonna lie. So
Kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit.
there's a lot. But thank you for sending this, and we do eventually get to you. So feel free to send us emails. That's still okay. So Dave has this to say. Straight chillin' crew. I'm a bit introverted, so voicemail's not really my jam. Just wanted to say you guys do a great job, and according to Spotify, you are my most listened to podcast this year. Whoa, thank
Hey.
you. That's great. I'm catching up on older episodes while listening to your new stuff, so you are pretty much nonstop in my ear holes. P.S. Is there still an option to join the Slack? Oh no. So I can comfortably watch the chat from the corner while trying to look cool. Yes, you can still join the Slack at any time. Bob, have you sent that?
I gotta look. I might have. I don't remember though. I'm gonna look at our sent emails real
Sorry,
quick.
man.
Sorry if I
Sorry, babe.
haven't. I
So
might
sorry.
have. I might have.
So he sent that through Patreon. That was a message sent through Patreon. Or I don't know. Yeah. It's got Patreon attached to no, yeah, it was through Patreon. So sorry, really, really, really sorry that took us so long to get to you, about 3 weeks. But hey, you know what? Better late than never.
We
my
did it.
guy.
Yeah, and we're closing out the year with it. This is
You're
our
highlighted.
yeah, no voicemails, just one really, really nice email, man. Yeah, thanks so much for sending that over to us, all the kind words, and thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for listening
Yeah.
to us,
Thanks
man.
for
Really
listening so
nice.
much.
Yeah.
We've got a
been
couple
really great,
people
thank you.
going through the old straight chilling journey this year, which
The
is
catalog, man,
nuts
it's
because the catalog is quite thick now.
deep. It's a deep catalog.
It's thick,
Yeah.
Bob. It's thick.
That alpha catalog.
Man.
If you guys would like to call in though and leave a voicemail to be featured on our first episode of 2026.
Boys, this is going to be the best year of straight chilling yet.
Ooh, the boys are here to play. That's just
We're
what they
always here
say.
to play.
what
600
they
is
say.
going to be the best 100th episode. We
Ever.
got big plans.
We got it planned and it's gonna be
We've got
fucking
the
crazy.
biggest guests
with it.
we've ever had coming on soon, and
Yeah.
bonus content. You know, that 200th mini episode is coming soon.
Yeah.
Got a big plan for that.
Oh my god.
Coming soon in a year. You'll get
So
it.
glad I'm hands off there.
Yeah, if you
Bob's
guys
handling all this.
Yeah. Can somebody record a minicast?
Really glad
Uh,
Bob's behind. Really
Bob's been killing it, really, you know. If you guys would like to call and leave a voicemail for next week, hit us up at 904-638-3231. We're going to be kicking the new year off with Stranger Things 5. We're going to be finally wrapping up this show. We're doing it.
I knew that that's what was happening, but it just didn't click in my mind like that's how we're kicking the year off.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if that's a good sign or not.
I don't know either. We'll see how things play out, man.
All right, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Oh
my god, I can't wait.
Any prompts you guys want to throw out for next week?
What are you gonna do in 2026? You know,
2026.
2026.
Are you big into taxidermy?
I am
Call us soon.
quite big.
in the taxidermy realm?
Yes, but yeah, I don't know. What's your big plans for 2026?
What are you
What
doing?
do I call it? Just 20. What's your big plans for 26? Doesn't seem right.
Resolution? Is that what you're looking for?
Give me your
Or you got any
resolution.
plans? Like, I don't know. You got anything already like in the works that's upcoming or looking forward to?
Have any crimes you're planning to commit? You
Yeah,
want to
how
detail on our
many-
podcast?
Yeah.
You want to provide us with blackmail on you? Is that
That's
what you want to do?
Oh,
fine. Yeah,
look,
that's
just
okay
hit
too.
us
If you
up.
want to play a little game?
You gonna take
Um,
up taxidermy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's your New Year's resolution.
Gonna get
Any
into it.
hobbies you're eyeing? And you know what? If you're thinking, like, oh, I have limited time, Soju, which one should I pick? Should I do this? Should I do this? Which one should I pursue in 2026? We'll give advice,
Yeah, let us give you advice.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you legal and financial advice here on
Yeah.
Straight
Dating
Chilling.
advice.
Yeah.
And how to be an
Guaranteed.
alpha advice.
Look,
Yeah.
all you have to do is provide us with some sensitive information, and we will tell you everything you need to know about your future.
Preferably nudes.
The more sensitive, the better. The information.
Yeah, it has to be real sensitive, or it doesn't
real,
work,
like
that's how the magic.
like
happens.
hella ticklish
yeah.
information. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's-
Very
Like bank account
ticklish
information is good, social security number good, mother's
I want the
maiden name,
most ticklish
fine.
information you have.
The most ticklish information.
So sensitive.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
sure. Sure. Also, let us know what you got. What's your holiday haul? Did you get anything cool this holiday? And a more straightforward question.
Justin is losing his
Justin
Just
is
'cause
really
Bob
tripping.
is- Oh my god.
Oh,
Bob, please don't start.
Please don't
Yeah.
start, Bob.
Yeah,
Your
call in and
ticklish
say-
information.
say whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
904-638-3231.
just call us.
We'll be back talking about Stranger Things 5 next week. Check it out or don't, but still listen to us.
Definitely listen to us.
Hope you guys have a very safe, fun, happy New Year's Eve. Hope nobody blew off any of their digits. Roll into the new year with all 10 of those fingers
Oh, yeah.
still thinging. Yeah, and until next year, as always, everybody please keep chilling.
Werewolf Bar Mitzvah.